Greetings everyone, please begin mode to make sure everything's set on up. Looks like everything's sort of boot on up. Can mode to activate the live chat windows. That's all online. Game mode check over here. Looks like everything's started to boot on up. Game mode check my other computer. Looks like that's all good to go. Let me bring up YouTube over here. And I think everything is good to go. Last week, somebody contacted me to submit and they submitted in a replay for Age Mythology, so always nice to see. And he also told me of a good replay site for Age Mythology, so today, and rather than going through the live games lobby, I managed to get a replay site, and hopefully we'll start casting from here today. Hopefully it'll be all good. Greetings everyone, and Grade here with another Age Mythology replay. So on bottom left side as the blue patron goddess, we got one kitten claw. So on the north side as the red Thor, we got P-Wows. This replay was submitted to me. I will try not to reveal who submitted the replay. Whoever submits the replay, most big players submit in replays, they win. So it kind of gives away of who's going to win if I mention who submitted them in. Though I always give a shout out to those who do submit and replay to me that they actually lose. Additionally, this is day after a patch. The patch which gives me concern with this replay, I did a quick fast forward through this replay and everything seems well enough. Because it mostly affected the new Greek god Demeter, or however you pronounce her name, as well as a bit of Inari Okami, one of the minor gods for the Japanese, the fluffy-tailed one. But I think since this is Thor and the patron goddess, neither of them are affected, maybe some AI stuff, but hopefully everything goes well enough. When it comes to patch time, it always screws up the replays I have lined on, particularly ones who submit to me, and I tend to cast them on, well, days I usually do casting on replays, and if there's a patch right before that, I feel really bad. But either way, let's talk about the major and minor gods. We do have the patron goddess. This is why I can't really say her name. Focus on technology. Towns and citadels provide additional population. You, of course, get a divine shield against god powers around your monuments. And also heals nearby units when they're empowered, the monuments. Technologies cost less, always cost less, and build faster. You also potentially get a nice little food trickle rate. The minor god for the patron goddess is very nice, very useful for the Egyptians. Thor is, of course, the focus of dwarves and armories. You get start of dwarves instead of gatherers. Dwarves are almost as good as gatherers in food and wood, just slightly worse. Dwarven armors can build and research any upgrade or age. Armors cost upgrades cost less. You get additional line of upgrades and can research and you get free dwarves per dwarven armor upgrade. Very nice. Of course, the major and minor gods. We do have 4 Seti already selected. For Seti does provide the Healing Spring, Trolls to troll your opponent, Infantry and Hero Speed, Erdman and Berserks increase hack armor, and of course Trolls. The Patron Goddess will go for Anubis or Bast. Anubis does provide the Plague of Serpents, which is okay. The Nubai is a nice little jumping infantry, pretty useful if your opponent goes from early walls. Fast favorite generation is always very nice. A Nubai upgrade and pathetically bad poison damage to Spearman. I have no faith in poison damage because that's about 2 damage over 6 seconds. I'm pretty sure it does not stack. I have no faith in poison damage in general. Not to mention if it does stack, it still does 2 damage. Not immediate. Not great at all. I think plus 10% firepower, plus 50% firepower is outright better. Boss provides the Eclipse if you want to improve your myth units. Also increase your favorite generation while it's active, which gives you a little bit of rebate. Sphinx Villagers work wood faster and chop faster. Villagers gather from food faster with only half as good for farms. There's not winter harvest. It's age 2, not rather than age 3. And of course, a couple of Sphinx upgrades. Let's see. Of course, Thor's more or less the economic of the minor gods. And the patron goddess is more technological focus, so don't see any massive advantage for either side. I feel the game's running a bit slower after this patch. Maybe it's going a little bit crazy. It just feels like it's running a little bit slower. Oh well. When it comes to these relics, you got the System of Bast. Gives your villagers reduced cost by 50%, which is always very nice to have. Let's see, we do got the Nose of the Sphinx. Increase your building hit points by 50%, which is nice, nothing too critical. Black Lotus gives you plus 10% farming gathering rate, which is actually very nice. That's a high priority relic, I would say. The Scarab Pendant. Siege weapons get additional crush damage, which is nice, makes them do their job better. Fur of Boy. Heroes get a health regen. I wonder if that affects the Stone of Size. If it does, that could be very nice to say the least. Tusk of the Iron Boar, increased calorie points by 10%. And did I do this relic as well? Yeah, looks like that's all 6 relics on this map. Obelisk is being built. Blue signed a torment opponent with these obelisks. And since I already covered all the economic stuff and all that sort, I'm going to fast forward. Prosperity being summoned. Do have Boss going on up. He's already, or she's already aging on up, and probably this will maybe iron for our secondary town center quick. Got a safe one here. Forward ones can be nice, but of course forward and a bit more risky. But this map would be some pair of good hard points here. You guys got a lot of obelisks on the field. Let's switch over to Blue's vision. This is what Blue sees the moment. The revealed part is, of course, not perfect. I'm pretty sure it does hide itself, but either way, he does have a pretty good amount of vision on the field. Both players now age on up. Going to slow down as the Sphinx starts advancing. Exotic kitty cat. Dwarves here digging a hole in the gold mine. Has not utilized the dwarven mine. Of course, does have better quality as the ages progress. Ox card has been obtained. Chicken has been slain. Looks like these guys are trying to work some magic there. They're going to turn chicken into chicken. Berserker now pulled in the field to engage the Sphinx. There's a good number of obelisks. I'm going to get my drink to over here. There we go. I do have Blue has established secondary town center. Red establishing some basic walls up here. Of course, has a number of upgrades here with the breastplate, shields, and weapons already all researched, giving a nice little extra firepower and health and durability, not necessarily health. To have the Hammer of Thunder. We got some Spearmans being obtained. Which, maybe a little bit too early that. Maybe it's concerned about any great halls. Right now, we don't have any very fine halls. We just got short houses and long houses. First years, maybe on to build a town center. Let's see, Red's resources. It looks like it's going for a secondary town center for that resource mix. Of course, obelisks only have 5% crush armor. They're effectively just trying to be tipped over. I know obelisks supposed to have like a flame on top, but of course, this is Age Mythology. You get the nice little glowing bit on the top. Oh, and also get a bit of lens flare as you zoom in. Never noticed there's a lens flare when you zoom in like this rainbow effect. Very nice. There's a lot of things that you miss out when zoomed out all the way. So I'm always surprised when I do actually see something different. Piggy here. Red will obtain the piggy as well. It's going to wee all the way to its new home. Or maybe not. Oh, got a bit of empowerment there on the monument. Looks like he was maybe empowering the monument build for a brief moment. I do like how as well, now if you click on a monument, I'm not sure if it was like that in not the replay viewer, but now in the replay viewer you can actually see the aura, divine aura. Spearman's moving about. They do have 5 movement speed. It's about 5 movement speed, which is the same movement speed as the chariot archers, so they're a pretty good complement. Chariot archers get bonus damage versus infantry. Spearmans get bonus damage versus cavalry. And against range, they'll do well enough. Though in this case, they're fighting against North Stream throwing Axemans, which the chariot archers will also get the bonus damage. And Spearmen will also receive bonus damage. Got a throwing Axeman there. We do now have the Creo Sphinx on the build queue. Get additional crush and hack damage with some hit points. Pretty good generous upgrade. We got Husbandry research by Blue. Has looks like 10 piggies. All those piggies will get a new husband. And 7 piggies there.
Greek.
A good number of Sphinx on the field, so the Creo Sphinx upgrades a very good idea. Makes them effectively plus 20% more effective. And it does cost 135 wood, 5 favor. That's actually pretty cheap. It does cost 120 and 20 favor. So in order to make it cost effective for favor, you need at least 5 Sphinx on the field, which is quite doable. Soon will have 4. In order to make the other cost more effective, practically a 1-for-1. So yeah, he needs at least 5 Sphinx on the field to make that upgrade cost effective. Right now he has 4, which is probably one of those cases of good enough. Do now the 3rd town sort of being established by Blue, being empowered with build. We do have now Bragi being on the build queue. Bragi does provide the flame weapons, a very excellent god power. The battle board, pretty good crowd control myth unit. All Sarks get additional hit points and favor upon death. Myth units can increase speed and a little bit health regen, which is always very nice. Swine Array makes your spearmen, your Erdmen, more powerful and much more effective as a counterpart with plus 2% multiplier. And a naval upgrade we don't even give a damn about. If somehow the naval upgrade becomes important this game, I'll give the 1 or 2 people on my stream a gift sub on Twitch. We got all Sark here. Take a bit of damage. Throwing Axemen's hitting the town center now. Got some slingers there. Queued up a number of upgrades, more dwarves, more throwing Axemans. Right now, civilian count is in favor by Blue by a small margin, but a margin, which is somewhere between 10 to 20%, close to 15 to 20%. My offhand math is not very good. Now another Sphinx upgrade here. In order to make this a bit more cost effective, you probably need, let's see, increased speed, more damage. I'm going to call it plus 50% more effective. We probably need about 10 Sphinx on the field to make that worth its while. Good to see a pretty good hit there. Don't tech the... We even got the Eclipse there, trying to pick off villagers there. Spin to win. Getting a good number of these villagers, that's for sure. 49 of 65. He was about 9 behind, or about 10 behind. Now he's about 15, 16 behind. Very nice. And that Sphinx upgrade is almost complete. Right now that's 6.1 move speed. Make that 6.6. An excellent movement speed here. Does have another 20 seconds remaining. Tennessee 20 minutes, 20 seconds. Wow, very different things. Here are some piggies. Hakuna Matata's being denied. Yeah, let's destroy the wall there. Huh, the Pharaoh has a bit of health regen. He must have that relic. And now Thor has aged up, which is very important. He has allegedly 100 military units for 118, so getting the heavy upgrades would be very nice. Plus 15% more effectiveness, as well as increase the line sight of units by 1. Dear God. Increase the line sight by 1! We do have some trolls here, the trolls opponent. A good number of these Heracross Sphinx. A very good number. We've got 6 of them here. They offer 18 crush damage at a decent enough attack speed. Spearman's before got good reserve throwing axemen. The trolls may want to focus down the Heracross Sphinx if they do bonus damage. We do now have the Herseers on a nice little flank there. Battle War advancing. Flame weapons coming at a very good time. The axemen doing, let's just call it 14 damage. The Herseer's up to a 20.5 damage as well. Especially for Heracross Sphinx advancing. Spin to win on top of throwing axemen. Number of Herseers and All Starks falling back. Red's front line still engaging. See a bit of health regen coming on out for Red's forces. That's actually causing health regen for Red's forces. Oh, the Healing Spring was deployed mid-combat, very nice. We got some Dark Age Jarls here, which of course would not do any bonus damage versus ranged units. And we got Axemen here. Axemen do counter axes. That's how it works. Oh, good wave of Portal Batterings also on field. Did go for a number of militiamen there. Very nice. One of them gets trolled by a troll. Battle Wolf bucking around. Got some slingers here. Another Heracross Sphinx deployed on the field. Got a massive pile of slingers, axemen being deployed on the field, and there's also a handful of spearmans. There's not too many. There's not too many Dark Age Jarls on the field. Going for the Call of Valhalla now. Village accounts favored by blue by approximately 15. Troll does troll one of those units. Battleborn bucks around some more. Battleborn's almost down. Maybe pulling back to the Healing Spring would be nice. Slingers firing away. Battleborn still advancing. Has 60-60 armor. Troll getting smite with the Priests. Priests are actually more closer to a soft counter than a harder counter to myth units, honestly. There, as you saw there, those Priests only had 2.4 damage times 5 multiplier. That's what? Let's just say 12 damage? That's actually not too high. Decent attack speed though, 0.8. Total battery rams push way forward. Total brand rams taking out some of these units. We do have some heavy Huskarls deployed in the field to counter the slingers. The villagers push forward, trying to shank the battle rams. Of course, the villagers no longer have bonus damage for siege weapons, only bonus damage for towers, help prevent tower rushing. Fresh temple there, going for barracks now. The patient goddess has 14 favor, enough for another Sphinx, but that's about it. Blue has an army of basically 30, red has an army of 58. Starting to fall back now. Falling back to the Healing Spring wouldn't be half bad. Maybe grab himself another town center. Villager count is greatly evened out. And the patient guard started to age up to Nephthys, give access to the Scorpion Mans. And we do have Tyre queued on up. Those are quite tires of the game. Okay, that pun was not good enough. We do have the Watchtower, Spearman, Slingers. Overall, Axeman's still a good call. We do have Dark Age Raiding Cavalry and Jarls. All upgrades there, including the Hall of Thanes. The patron goddess is aging on up. Looks like some hippopotamus to be obtained. They're quite carnivorous. Though in real life, there's actually very few 100% carnivores and very few 100% herbivores. Almost nearly every animal on the planet is a form of omnivore. Oh, howdy. Sorry, I just saw your chat. I'm doing your cast. Oh wait, I may have spoiled who won the game. At the start of the replay, I mentioned that I try to avoid mentioning who submitted the replay because make an indication of who wins the game. And even though it was recently a balance patch, a little bit balanced patch, I don't have any issues. Well, we are engaging the spearmans. Maybe a little bit overreaction there. Can't be defending too much. We have a Kara Cross Sphinx and some spearmans advance way forward to the little fort. No medium infantry. He's actually going straight for Thoth. It's actually... Thoth is actually going straight for age 4. Military force is somewhat even. Value is another matter. Of course, it's hard to gauge as a player on the ground or in the sky. Will we play on the ground or play on the sky as with an RTS? Got some battle boars here balking around. Jarls, raiding cavalry. Looks like still Dark Age ones. Nope, they're all Jarls, so medium Jarls. Got a Migul stronghold going up there. Mining camp, double mining camp. Dwarves here digging away. Ox cart getting stabbed in the butt. Nope, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the stream.
In which
We do now have this force falling back. And which actually having the spearmen drawing these units towards a Migul stronghold is probably a bad idea. Letting them die here is probably would have been better than the alerting Red that this exists. Because we switch over to him, he definitely sees it now. So that was a bit of a bad lure. Sometimes a good idea just let your units die. And that's one of them. Oh, looks like the crocodiles draw some fire there. Misclick likely. They probably got mad at him for they were not the pet Solvix. Oh, 1500 is pretty good. 900 is of course excellent. So quite a bit of a skill gap difference. Though it's almost completed, which means Paul's been thinking on the meteor shower. Meteor strike? Meteor shower? Meteor storm? What was it exactly called again? Meteors? I'm actually sort of getting panicking and trying to can't figure out what the name was. Just meteor. Shower of meteors coming on in.
Skip.
To be fair, calling a meteor shower is not entirely false. Red's army got decimated, but right now Red still has plenty for Seer. Oh, got gunner longhouses. I think those Olsarks pulled back and built some longhouses. There's enough room for all these villagers. I don't think Blue has boiling oil. Doesn't look like it. Which means that Migul stronghold will be going down. Cracking of the hard exterior to get the nice soft interior. Looks like pulls them back. Maybe probably shouldn't have.
yo.
Got some camels being pulled in the field. All good idea not to go for Jarls if he's going for more and more camels. Not to mention the spearmen. So Erdman throwing axes is probably a good composition for Red. Chariot Archer is probably a better option right now to deal with all the throwing axemen. Oh, there's some Chariot Archers now. Oh, we got Thimblewinter now summoned. Sorry, I missed that part being summoned. Oh, didn't miss it now. It's breaking on through. Got the Phoenix trying to spawn. All the exotic doggos across the land. heavy cavalry starting to get hit. Jarls pushing forward. Looks like these wolves are actually not in an aggressive stance. They didn't actually automatic gauge, or now they are. Phoenix may save the villagers here, but Red is trying to push over here as well. Priest falling back. Pharaoh getting hacked apart. Blue has no Q going, has plenty of gold. And looks like Blue back in the game. Looks like the lack of food was the issue there. Oh, this is Angrade saying, thank you for watching, and on to the next replay. Yep, I'm sort of glad that I was able to cast your replay, because there was that balance patch out, and I was hoping that it didn't break. And luckily, like I mentioned beforehand, it looked like it was these two major gods were not affected, nor all the subsequent minor gods. Not browse. Now I have a pile of replays to look at. Let's see, let's do the, yep, these are all from yesterday. And let's do the biggest ones. Somehow, that's not sorting by file size, that's weird. Greetings everyone, and Grade here. I have another couple heroes to replay. Small on the right side as the blue Poseidon. We have... how do I pronounce that? Kalos? I have no idea how to pronounce that. I'm already bad with Leet Speak, let alone whatever that is. Spawned on the left side as the red Odin. We got Collector in Leet Speak. Sort of. Not really. I have no idea. Either way, when it comes to major and minor gods, Poseidon, of course, to focus on the cavalry and economy. Militia spawn from raised buildings. Cavalry caravans, myth units can increase speed per age. Markets and stables are cheaper. Markets have better exchange rates, and you get free hippocampus. Unique upgrade improves the cavalry's line of sight and a slight bit of health regen. Help them out with subsequent fights. Odin, of course, is the focus on Great Hall units. Gatherers, dwarves hunt faster. Great Hall units generate more favor. Human and heroes have a little bit of health regen as well, and 2 free ravens. Generally, I try to find replays above 1200. I'm still going to use that replay site. But if a replay is a decent length, and of course if the elo's above 1000, it's more likely to be a good game. I don't try to go for top replays, I try to find what's likely to be good games. I also don't pre-watch them, just so I am surprised what's going on. I think I get more better at, yep, still gonna use that site. Beforehand, I was just going through the spectate lobby, sort by longest games, and spectate games live. With big hit or misses. Let's see, when it comes to major and minor gods, Odin, of course, can go for Heimdall or Freyja. Heimdall's quite nice, though not for unique upgrades, they're pretty weak. Undermine is an excellent god power if you just quickly want to go through all walls, remove a line of towers. Believe it or not, Undermine gets better as in the extreme late game, in my opinion, where people start to fast lobbing walls or have a line of towers. This can just simply eliminate a whole line of them. And Hori is a pretty good unit to go along with armies, as it gives nice force multiplier buff by tooting their horns. Of course, this can help increase the duration of that by 5 seconds, but the upgrades, wall hit points, wall towers, building costs not important, and faster train and research rate not great. Of course, Odin's more focused on Great Hall units, which means heroes and cavalry, so Freyja's more fitting for him. Or as far as nice but situational, Valkyrie is a mounted healer. Thundering Hooves improves cavalry speed and hit points, which is very nice for the Great Hall units, and early goatees and hero hit points is also good for the Great Hall units. Poseidon has 2 good options. I think Ares is a little bit underrated, but Hermes is generally a bit more the better option for Poseidon if you want to focus on cavalry. Primarily for the Spirit Charge, increasing your cavalry speed and damage by 10%. And a free package is always quite nice. Centaur can accompany that same force as well. Ares has a pretty good upgrade for Poseidon. Increase 1 divine damage for both the militia and the Prodromos. Improving the Prodromos damage by 1 is quite good since they are a counter unit, and that will greatly get improved by the counter damage. Of course, better tuck stays, early high passes, plus improve them, helps improve the other composition as well. Ares is pretty good. I think Ares is very good for Hades, in my opinion. But Poseidon, Hermes is probably better. When it comes to the relics, Black Lotus improves your farming speed by 10%. Very nice to have. Heavenly Jeweled Spear increases the melee damage of counter cavalry units. So in this case, oh, Prodromos. So it improves Prodromos, not hoplites. Got it. So that's probably going to be very useful for Odin, to say the least. By effects as Erdman. Cavalry speed, that's going to be nice for also both sides, to both more cavalry focus. In fact, if Odin's cavalry focus, Hades or Ares may be better for better Prodromos. And Jade here, improved myth unit speed as well by 5%. So both very good options. You do have Hermes. And if I switch over to Odin, that should affect Erdman. Yes, it does. Wait, melee attack range, not damage. That's interesting. I didn't read the fine text. It's actually range, not damage. Range. Oh, good number of goats here. Goats, of course, the goat. 12 of them. Looks like red has gotten abysmal 4. Nope, I missed one. Has gotten 5. That's quite abysmal. Blue finds 3 more goats. Bring his possible count up to 15 so you don't get intercepted. That's... oh, there's also another 3 there. Holy crap. Blue needs to get husbandry researched ASAP to get that fattening going. 18 goats. Like I said, goats are of course the goat. Do have the raven here flapping about. Take a couple hits there from the centaur. Birdie goes down. Scout moving around. Perseer now on the field. Nope, got a goat here. Looks like Thessus find the Jade here. Faster myth units move speed, which Poseidon does improve the base speed of his myth units, which could be quite nice. Let's see if that. The Centaur now moves at 6 without being snared. That's pretty good. Same move speed as the Cavalry. So yeah, the Jade here is probably pretty nice for a Centaur play. Looks like Atlantia is going to stab the Valkyrie. Scout charging way forward. Demanding maybe a dispenser. Either way, do you have Thesis here? Or Thesis? He's going to write a Thesis. Do you have a Hippus? Gatherers and Dwarves. Ulfsark getting picked off by the Centaur.
Skipan.
Doesn't get finished off, and his health regen could save it. Valkyrie gets some healing going. Yep, let's the Berserk will be healing up. Yep, Blue's going for husbandry. Oh yeah, I forgot the fact that Lure also acts as granary. Oh, and it looks like Blue did find that singular goat. That's a lot of goats there. Wilson doesn't realize he has this goat. Raven still flapping about. Units here, nothing too crazy. We do now have the Lord of Horses being researched. Slight bit of health regen is nice. Slight bit of line of sight is nice. It's an H1 upgrade, nothing too crazy. It looks like Poseidon's going for Aphrodite, a pretty good economic pick. Aphrodite, of course, does provide the Cursed God Hearts, pretty good. Nemean line, pretty good crowd control. Villager speed, carrying capacity, and build rate. Very good supportive upgrade for villagers. Faster favor generation if you want to have fun. Which, let's see now. Odin, go for either Skadi or Njord. Frost is, of course, a pretty good stasis god power. Frost shines pretty good if you want to lock down individual myth units. More of an anti-myth unit, honestly. Ship upgrade. Winter Heart is a pretty good mythological upgrade. Plus recent gathering from farms, while plus 10% for all natural resources. That's pretty good. Storming X-Men gets perfect tracking in one range. It's nice, but nothing critical. And against Poseidon, who's more cavalry focused, maybe not so much. Njord is pretty nice, particularly when big conflicts happen. Just spawn in a bunch of walking woods in the back line and let them just munch away against some buildings. And of course, Ringgiver improves Rawl's hit points by 20%. Raiding Cavalry gets a bit of divine damage and raiding. All pretty nice as well. So Njord may be the better option for Odin. But of course, Skadi does have some benefits. Nope, another Raven got summoned. Hit this here. Poseidon walled off, well walled off. Yep, I can see on the map here. Sorry I missed your comment, that was probably busy talking about the minor gods. I'm assuming that's fully walled off. It's always difficult for me to tell. That's a gate that's open. Not walled off just yet. Neither side's gone for a secondary town center just yet, so got minimal villagers at the moment. Raiding cavalry moving around. Wounded Valkyrie still alive. You do have Spirited Charge not being researched. That's the spirit. Sorry, gotta get a lot of bad puns on in. Finish the wall off of there. At least makes it traversable. Now the wall is fully built. Thundering Hooves, which also gives his cavalry increased movement speed. Medium cavalry, maybe actually a little bit too early for that. He doesn't have too much cavalry on the field to really warrant it. You can mathematically distill when's actually a good time for the medium upgrades. It's actually around 30 units to make it actually economically effective, rather than building a whole new cavalry unit. Oh, does peel off one of the raiding cavalry there, gets good damage. Snares a little bit there. Atlantia getting pushed on forward. We'll find some giraffes, or villagers collecting some delicious giraffe neck meat. It's funny. The giraffe has a concept of animal is definitely more mythological than a unicorn. What would you believe me? A horse with a horn, or a long leopard skin patterned four-legged animal with an incredibly long neck? What seems more realistic? Same thing with elephants, honestly. Elephants are one of the largest land animals. Africa has a large number of land animals. The largest land animal outside of Africa is probably the moose. And the moose weighs twice as much as a grizzly bear. Looks like the hippos does take a bit of damage there. Raiding cavalry pursuing. The hippos will fall on back. He can always peel it off, let Lord of Horses heal it up slowly. Line of walls being established there. Scout here. Scouting out that settlement. And the dwarves are migrating towards the gold mine. The natural habitat of dwarves. Looks like the scout is being a nuisance. Of course, scout is not very good in melee combat, just like Team Fortress 2. Line of walls there. Looks like this area is fully intraversable. You can see in the mini map that that little green does extend over to the top left. Aphrodite now being researched. We do have more throwing accents. Of course, secondary town center for red. No, wait, that's not a secondary town center. That's just the queue going back and forth because I'm an idiot.
Ja. Skipan.
Aphrodite is almost complete.
Tilbúin.
Granny will go on down. And of course, the militia goes down there as well. Looks like it was actually in the Valkyrie, which is of course technically permanent damage, although those do have a bit of passive health regen and potentially active regeneration from the Valkyrie. Those the lures trying to lure in some horses, but they're quite angry. Oh, wait, is that a hole there? Or, guess that's not a hole there. That sort of juked me out. At first I actually thought they were successfully traversing, but it's like not. We have some Prodromos on the build queue, very nice. He sees all the raiding cavalry. Prodromos, of course, faster. They do have a staggering 7.2 at the moment. Ibis flanks around, lets the Valkyrie going down first. She's getting hacked apart quite a bit. 15 health remaining. We got a Hypasus here. Prodromos trying to engage, gets hits on the raiding cavalry. No watchtowers. We'll quickly try to ghost in some scaffolding. Unsuccessful. Oh, gets it there. Clears a path with a forest fire, but it'll take a moment to actually clear the path. A lot of these units starting to get covered in soot. Villagers do back on off time. Oh, actually right click onto the gate. This lady's still on fire. And the militia do pop out some of these buildings. The Valkyrie is covered in soot and now dead. Ranged cavalry gets trapped there, and the Prodromos does take it out. Decent amount of damage there from the forest fire, though he does have some health regen to come on in. They want to peel off the militia man. There's two militia in that formation, slowing it down. A very large number of throwing axemen here. Maybe a little bit too many. Got some Erdmen mixed on in. Metropolos, Toxdays being summoned. You also have the fortress going on up. Throwing axemen firing away, hitting the stable, trying to go for medium cavalry. Looks like a number of those units do turn to piggies. They're going wee all the way to their new home, which will be my stomach. Erdmen being picked on off, not enough there to stop all the cavalry. Not to mention some of them may have been hitting the militia. There's also still a couple of high passes mixed on in. Centaur is still alive. High passes come in flank, but of course they get countered by the throwing axemen, while they technically do also counter throwing axemen. Reds grab those piggies. They are also somewhat fattened. Some Toxdays here, Dark Age Toxdays. Got Njord queued on up. Let's get some hits over here. More Toxidays, more throwing axemen. Got the conscription upgrades, or levies. Probably can keep those not researched until he actually is at max out population. I swear, some of these are just way too expensive. In order to make it worth its while, that's a lot of resources for plus 20% faster training time when you could just simply build another building for cheaper. Golden apple is now being researched. In order to make this better, let's see, the buildings are what, on average, like 150 each? This costs 300 resources, which means it's equivalent to 2 buildings. So you can either A, take those resources, build 2 buildings, or B, get plus 1% faster training time and make that equal to 2 buildings. You are going to need what? 10 buildings already on the field. It would be nice to re-max out, but if you're not maxed out, it's probably better just to go for a whole new building. Heroic age is yours, so both players now aged on up.
Πρόσταγμα.
Hippolyta now being queued on up. We got the Pegasus flapping about. Down here we do have the raiding cavalry going for a raid. Opening still here. Little fort going on up. Got these units moving around.
Έτοιμος.
Number of villagers here. Collect up some food. The goats are nearly fully fattened. Needs like 3 more food, so not too much longer. Got a petrol bulls here, which could be picked on off. The Dromos here intercepting. Ballistics now queued on up. These units do back themselves to a corner. And they quickly get to ripped apart there. Valkyrie goes down, and now the medium raiding cavalry. Over here, Red is advancing. Do have a mountain giant here. As well as, if he needs extra siege weapons, walking woods can be summoned here. Though, if he wants to, if he had a unit over here, like one of those ravens, he could summon walking woods here in a big conflict. And your opponent may not catch it. Little fort established. Both players are on one town center right now.
Έτοιμος.
One Nemean lion, which has honestly mythologically not accurate hack armor, because it supposedly had a hide hard enough or strong enough that Hercules had to strangle it to death. He could not pierce its hide, and then he turned its hide into a cloak, if I remember correctly. Oh well. Nemean lion is, of course, a giant cat and will scream at your opponent like a normal cat would. You have Hepatus queued on up, as well as Divine Blood.
Πρόσεχε.
Militia here. We do have more walking woods, this time some right there. They may try to eat villagers. Ceasefire there. Very nice. A couple of these are, of course, stuck. He can send some heroes over here. They are classified as myth units, so sending a hero over here to clean them up wouldn't be half bad. While these structures still covered in soot, Lucy's going to push forward with the raiding cavalry. You can send over the Prodromos to intercept. Reds, those could be a drive-by there. Freddy goes down. Let's try to go for some walls there. Blue has now established another town center. Stone walls being researched by Blue. These units start to be cleaned on up. Toxic is over here firing away against these throwing axemen. High passes clean up some of the Huskarls. Some raiding cavalry being summoned, more Huskarls as well. Right now they're just medium units, no heavy units queued on up yet by red. Mount Giant slowly going down.
Λέγε.
Mount Giant does get picked on up. The drone was free forward. Heavy units now being researched. Only we do have heavy range being researched as well as some bronze upgrades over here for blue. We do now have Baldur going on up, which will give access to Fire Giants and to Ragnarok. Nemi line on the build queue as well. See, I guess this first one did go down on one of those engagements.
Ετοίμος.
We do now have some high passes being queued on up. We do have Vikings being researched as well as the heavy cavalry. More Jarls, more Huskarls being queued on up. Let's see, blue does or red nowhere near has enough villagers to make use of Ragnarok. Probably do a full maxed out 100 villagers. You could also may want to eye for a handful of ox caravans before getting out Ragnarok, so you get some income just going in the background. Line gets a nice stun there, snaring the army as it tries falling back. Little Fork going on up. Looks like going to be eyeing for these throwing axemen now. Toxays get distracted by the birdie. Throwing axeman gets side. Does pop on not on the far side. Petropolos somehow in the back line of your opponent's base.
Πρόσταγμα.
And if it's going to fall back, hit them. We do now have Baldur researched. Centaur on the build queue. And he also is going for civilian war. Sylvan lore. How do I pronounce that? And we do also have Artemis queued up. He canceled Hepatis, going for Artemis now. Artemis does improve range units and provides Earthquake. So it looks like maybe blue wants the eye for more Toxitates. Which I'm assuming doesn't affect the centaurs. Let's bring up, see, plagues ranged soldier, not ranged unit, but ranged soldiers. A human soldier get plus 10% damage. and get a little bit of poison damage. I have no faith in poison damage. Oh, got a fire giant here. One of the best myth units in the game, in my opinion. He has good bulk, both in health and in armor. 14 range is decent enough. 45 damage with also 20 crush. Of course, slow attack speed, but 2 projectiles, which makes it 30 hack damage. Wait, does hack damage not pierce damage? I didn't realize the fire giant did hack damage rather than pierce damage. Huh. Good to know. Which means the patrol boats actually have better armor versus the fire giants, so that makes any difference. Huskarls here in good numbers. Bit of damage there from the centaur pole marks. Fire giants push forward. And they also have pretty good special attack, doing a great amount of AoE damage. Mimi Line screams the face of the Huskarls. Jarl's being picked on off. Hippus and Prodromos breaking on through. Mimi Line engaged in the melee. Similar health, less armor, less DPS than the Fire Giants. Blue's Toxday is starting to get picked off. More fire giants going down. We do now have raiding capital in the field. More Hippus and Prodromos queued on up. Artemis almost complete, which will give access to the Chimera. Fortress starting going down. Does try to go for some heroes there. Chimera now pulled a few. Oh, we've got ceasefire there. It does. Looks like the ceasefire does deny the damage over time from the fire. That's interesting. And that fire attack, fire breath, does have divine damage, so should be able to do full, or at least still bypass all the armor. Ceasefire now complete. Blue didn't really build enough military units to field. Blue's actually a bit low on all resources. So it has to access the earthquake if he needs to decimate a formation of buildings. But we do have something going on over here. Villagers trying to build a fortress, but there's an ox cart in the way. Let's see, hitch this cart to the right location. Chimera does go down. Let's see, did Red go for any more of those Huskarls? Only one Huskarl on the field, so the range units will be very useful. Champion range units is now complete for Blue. Polyphemus falling back, takes a bit of damage there. Polyphemus getting knocked on out. Shaft of Plague being researched. Oh, this divine damage description has a bit more text to it. It just says does more damage over time, excluding siege units. Got it. More fire giants in the build queue for Red. He's going for a good number of them. Oh, Ragnar, rock and roll. Ragnarok has been summoned. Red has no economy remaining. Has a staggering 281 military units in the field and 15,000 worth of value. Earthquake could actually be very nice if it destroys all the housing. This one's going to be severely behind in recovering once it does time to recover. Right now, Odin has a pretty good reserve of all resources. Probably a good idea to not deploy any more myth units until the Heroes of Ragnarok goes on down. There are classified infantry, so high passes will be a good option in this situation, as well as toxic ice. Polyphemus, push way forward. Polyphemus gets knocked out again. Got a good core of archers here. Blue just may need to hold on, let red exhaust his resources. But that's easier said than done against Ragnarok. High passes and toxic stays being deployed in the field. Good idea in general. Just occasionally build some heroes and deal with all the fire giants. Blue's kind of started taking some damage there. Hippolyta needs to be pulling field to engage with fire giants. Festus back here has been having a bit of trouble pushing forward. Blue's forces being cleaned on up. Red looks like in a very good position. I think, oh, blue summons another ceasefire. Red's now bringing some portable battering rams to help clear off all the infrastructure. Red's reorganizing. Of course, getting a little bit health gen because he's Odin. Relic picked up by somebody. Looks like Red is grabbing the relics. We do not have the Dwarven Augur there. Gets portable battery ram capabilities, as well as trapped horses. Another Polyphemus got deployed on the field. Blue has stuff here, has some donkey caravans, maybe going to this market here or that town center there. Red's overall making great progress right now. Blue's gonna try to exchange buildings for time. Luckily, he has militia that pops out occasionally. Red's economy is slowly starting to recover. Another set of walking woods. Extra siege weapons actually pretty nice. Granted, of course, Poseidon got, like I said, militia. So for incomplete there, maybe upgrade one of these guys to an Ulfsark and start building it. But then again, it doesn't have too many villagers to do that with. Yeah, looks like just got a bit of cleanup operations over here. I'm going to fast forward a little bit, since overall there's just slow cleanup. Right now to another town center. Looking for more donkey caravans, more villagers. Is he still running low on food? It looks like these villagers are having trouble rebuilding this hill or fortress. Trying to break through the stone gate here now. Just got a good number of fire giants here. Emulating a good number of villagers there. And another fortress here, but looks like we'll be interrupted by the Huskarls. There's also taking this gold deposit up front. Blue right now has an army of 17, not too many on the field. Red right now has 106. All the teams got deployed out again, getting some damage, but overall getting picked apart. Town center goes down. Now blue has only one town center remaining. And so these on caravans will have a very bad trade graph. This wasn't very good. Next one will be even worse. Yeah, I'm gonna fast forward even faster now. Got earthquake summoned up here. Doing some infrastructure damage, but that's replaceable. Odin right now has a pretty good stockpile of reserves. Actually pretty low on wood. Over another town center now. Up north just got stuff. More of these villagers are gonna go on down. And now blue has finally resigned. His hand grade saying thank you for watching and on to the next replay. Let's see, that was this one here. Let's do this one here. Greetings everyone, and Grade here with another Age Mythology replay. Small on bottom left right side as the blue Nuwa, we got Mati. Or was it Nock? I think Nock is the clan tag. So on top left side as the red Zeus, we got Baki from VOD. Either way, when it comes to these major minor gods, I also remind myself on the Chinese ones. Nuwa, peasants, Kufas, and defense. God of blessing, creator's auspice. On favored lands, foundations automatically are constructed. Buildings spread favored land +1 range further, and counter gets 10% hit points. Unique upgrades here. Creation gets a number of clay peasants. Auspice, creator's auspice. Nuwa reduces peasants' costs and improve the building's hit points as you earn favor. Kufta chieftains. Nuwa creates a Kuftan chieftain, a powerful hero who respawns when lost. And Mountainous Might gives your Kufas more damage and hit points. Make them a bit better at defense. Zeus is, of course, a well-known major god. We do have infantry and heroes. Star of additional favor, gains favor faster. Myth units cost 1 population. Infantry do +6% damage versus buildings, and hoplites move faster. His unique god power, of course, gives a bit of hit points, as well as hit point regeneration for his heroes. For his minor gods, you can see Athena or Hermes. Athena's usually the favorite for Zeus. In this case, probably a good idea, though Zeus can still go with Hermes and Dionysus, so he still can get pretty good cavalry. Athena provides close restoration, Minotaur, Age of Shields improve Pierce armor, which is probably pretty nice since the Chinese tend to go for a lot of range units, such as Chuko News and Fire Archers. Minotaur's upgrade and hoplites can increase range and damage. Spirit Charge over here gets increased cavalry spear and speed and damage. Free Pegasus and make them better as a scout. And of course, Ceasefire. Nuwa can get Hotu or Zhuan Nu. Earth Wall is basically a free wall that every single piece is also a gate that will disintegrate if you if they take a good number, then goes down. Colin Key is, of course, a hybrid unit that can fly and land. Favorite lands, you get increased 5% drop-off resources. Very powerful upgrade there. Very good economic one. And of course, villagers build faster and work rate for the settlements. So the settlements build settlements faster, or town centers faster. Vanish, of course, gives a bit of a tactical one. Kulin is, of course, a healing unit. Training guards cost less and also faster training rate. You get, of course, occasional free human soldiers, 1 out of 5, which is like Hades Shades, but a bit more direct and less free. Kulin's Blessing, of course, improved the healing rate. So both are pretty nice. 10% rebate of your human soldiers, or 5% drop off. Or should I say 20% rebate in human soldiers.
Sure.
Comes to relics, we do have the Dwarven Horseshoes. Cavalry increases move speed by 5%. Pretty good for both sides. The Titan's Treasure, aging up, is cheaper. Secret Titans is cheaper. Very nice to have. Bridle of the Pegasus is you get free Pegasus. And Harmona's Necklace, gold just gathered 10% faster. All the relics seem pretty good. Also, a bit more leaning on to red side of the map rather than blues. Sends us back down the eco phase. I'm going to fast forward a little bit. Scout here took a little bit of damage. Do now have the Kuftan Chieftain. Tempo going on up for Zeus. We do have Athena almost complete now, as well as Jason being summoned. Nuwa is now aging up to Zuen Nu, which does, of course, give the rebate of human soldiers, which is very nice to have. Athena now pulling the field. We got Norm the Minotaur heading down south. Sounds like the Pioneers engaging Jason. Of course, blue is not aged on up, so they're doing a nice staggering 0.3 DPS. Jason's taking approximately not even 1 point of damage per arrow. Of course. Scout here even poses a threat to these guys. They're probably yelling out, "Need a dispenser here," while and bolts the Quillen immediately. Bolts is one of those god powers like, do I do it immediately or wait to the perfect target? I say that's a perfectly fine target there. Honestly, maybe doing this against the Kuftan Chieftain wouldn't be half bad, or maybe one of the Kuftans. Or Kafus. Oh, we got the clay peasants being summoned there. Click up some chicken. The Kafu thinks some damage. It may be a giant villager that's probably mythological in origin. Northern Minotaur goes down. Heroes do not get bonus damage. You can see Hercules doing do about 9 damage per strike. And his base damage is 13. That village does manage to stay alive, but barely. The clay peasants are trying to stab Hercules. 11 health remaining, not a whole lot. It says strike any military unit there, so probably actually can't be targeted onto villagers, now realizing it. We got some halberdiers here, which are counter cavalry units there, but he's not fighting his cavalry. Oh, I suppose just hit us there. Never mind. Did take out a villager. The clay peasants should be disintegrating relatively soon. Actually, no, they still have another 50 seconds remaining. I always forget how long that god power actually lasts. It lasts for a significant amount of time, honestly. Got some lanterns being summoned.
Πρόσεχε.
Halberdier getting engaged by Jason. Restoration deployed on the front line. Jason Hercules getting healed. This is an unusual play, I would say. Pioneers are classified as ranged soldiers. They do take bonus damage from Hippus. But do have Olympian Paritages. Research can see a bit of health regen here. Kafu Chieftain takes some damage there from the Hippus.
Λέγε.
Oh, the clay peasants have expired. Looks like Hercules complete bopping more of these halberdiers. Does take out Pioneer before falling back. Pioneers do cost 105. Hercules in comparison does cost a lot more than that. Of course, has a little bit of health regen for himself. Red's going for more Hippus. Chickens being obtained, or they're expiring.
Πρόσταγμα.
Another Pioneer goes down.
Πρόσταγμα.
Jason and Hercules once again standing and fighting. Like I said before, these halberdiers, of course, counter units, so while these are... they just don't have great damage. Jason does go down there.
Πρόσταγμα. Ετοίμος.
Hippus,
Λέγε.
bit of damage up to them, nothing crazy though. Another Jason being deployed in the field.
Πρόσεχε.
Jason does cost 150 resources. Oh, Jason doesn't cost any gold? Huh. Let's see, in Gold Edition, I think Jason costs like 100. Actually, did Jason only cost food in Gold Edition? Now I can't remember. It's been decades since last played Gold Edition for Age of Mythology. Looks like some goats being attained. Goats, of course, the goat. And the machine workshop is, I think it's complete, but all the debris fallen. There you go, must be complete now. Got some housing here. Housing does get destroyed. Looks like Red's being a bit of a home wrecker.
Έτοιμος.
Fire archers being summoned. So he's going for halberdier and fire archers. So probably best build Toxotes.
Λέγε.
These forces pushing forward, including a fresh Norm. Pioneers get some damage here onto the Minotaur. Halberdiers over here.
Πρόσταγμα.
Both the Hippus and the Halberdiers are Dark Age. Hoplites as well. More Pioneers being summoned, another Kafu as well. Because these guys back themselves into a corner. Will they actually make it picked off? Okay, they do escape on out of there. Hoplite goes down.
Ετοίμος.
Jason's taking a bit of damage there. Hippus engaging over here. Kafu's gonna go down. Well, this one did. This one's the super wounded one from earlier. Two Minotaur moving around. You also have another watchtowers here to keep watch. Let's get inside the towns over there. Got some halberdiers and fire archers. Some of these hippos are going down to the halberdiers. Looks like the red's starting to obtain some elephant. I wonder how elephant mate tastes in real life. I would definitely try elephant. Looks like you anger the bull and he gets the horns.
Πρόσταγμα.
Hippos moving around.
Λέγε. Πρόσταγμα.
More. We got husbandry researched by Red. He does have
Λέγε.
12 goats. Goats, not a bad number of goats. Blue looks like he's already eaten all of his goats. Red is still utilizing all the resources in the field. The longer you can make use of the resources in the field, the better. Makes your goats fattened up for longer. And I mentioned that it souls out farms even for longer. Hercules just dropped off a relic. So far, I've obtained the Harmona's necklace and the Dwarven horseshoes. Do now have a possible age up Rusho. Give access to Bahu and Pixie. I always forget the Chinese minor gods. Let's see. Rusho gets access to Fey Beast, which is a number of poisonous temporary units. Making the sun's units flying, so crowd control. Oh, you get a unique trader. Gilded shields, improved Dow swordsman's pierce armor. Divine Jones infantry gets a divine damage, 1 divine damage, and bonus damage from myth units, so make them a bit more generous. Very nice, which Paula combos quite well with Zwanu with the rebate. Better work rate. Actually, get a bit of food and wood along with trade. Very nice. And summon a new naval unit. So, a pretty good economic one, an infantry focus minor god. Zeus. Zeus, I've seen most time people go for Dionysus, but Apollo's still an excellent call for Zeus. Bronze is a very good god power. Hydras you can hail. Dionysia gives you plus 5% hit points, and Thorking horses give a bit of life steal for your cavalry. Apollo's pretty good as well. Manticore is one of the better myth units in the entire game, in my opinion. Manticore passes course can be very powerful, or not so. And Sunray improves the range damage of all your units, including your myth units, such as the Manticore. Bit of healing gear, a bit of line of sight, not too important. Healing tempo is situational, but can be very nice. But Sunray is plus 50% damage for all units. And since Zeus also has 1 less population, it feels like it does impact Manticore far more than you would imagine. It goes from 4 population down to 3. A 25% population reduction on Manticore is incredibly good, honestly. They have a pretty good bias towards Manticore. We do have a large number of bowls here. A nice big load of bowl. Got a number of halberdiers. Bruce show is almost complete. We do have the reincarnation, which will give you the replacement of your fallen troops, a 20% rebate or refund in unit deployment. Hipposeer will be intercepted by the halberdiers and fire archers. We just have the course Fey Beasts. I know there's a relic to get one of these guys for free, and it's a permanent one. I don't know, does this one make it a permanent summon or a temporary summon? I can't remember. It seems like the Chinese is probably the least selected of the factions nowadays. Here's the Ba Way. Or Pahui. I have no idea to pronounce Chinese stuff. He did eat a villager. It was quite delicious. Hercules coming to bop the big kitty. He's from of Nemean lions. This is just a two-tailed cat, which is not a Neko Mata. Now these horse pushing forward still has Dark Age halberdiers, medium archers. Do have Dionysus being researched as well as Age of Shield. Cats are eating the house.
Πρόσταγμα.
Halberdiers, more Kafu. Do have the Shaft Mine. More gold be obtained there. Pegasus flapping about. Here are the two Bahus. Military Academy going on up.
Πρόσεχε.
We do have Hercules bopping the cat.
Έτοιμος.
Got this one here as well, picking off some villagers, very nice.
Λέγε.
Who's pushing forward over here? Right, let's pull back some villagers here. And now they have similar villager count. And this cat's still causing problems. Got Jason here. Does slice up the cat.
Έτοιμος.
Hydra here. The load of wolves there. 5 of them. You have the Zhang Zaya there. Who's now going for husbandry? Halberdiers are now medium. Toxic straight forward.
Λέγε.
Hoplites trying to engage.
Πρόσταγμα. Λέγε.
So we got Dark Age hit this. Heavy infantry researched by Zeus now. And our Kafu's here. Nice little pop out, get a little extra distance there. His units were slower. Zeus's hoplites are faster. We've got Bronze now pulling the field. We're on the far side of the Baolei. And we've got the Fey Beast now summoned. Those Fey Beasts are starting to go on down. Quickly killed them off. Looks like all of them may be down there. They did not last very long.
Πρόστα λέγε.
Ballet we've gone down. There's some sort of garrison inside of it. What it is, I'm not sure at the moment. Guess we'll find out soon enough. That was a good number of villagers that popped out, including some military units. Oh, does use Vanish there. Very good.
Έτοιμος.
Well, the best case scenario for this thing. This thing's never really used for military armies, but that saved a good number of military and civilians there. That might be the best cast I've ever seen with Vanish. Couple of these villagers go on down. You have, it looks like Shaft Mine, Heavy Rain Soldiers being researched, Odysseus being summoned. Almost another for the next tier, the Creator's Auspice, which is simply reduce the cost of peasants, which almost has all the peasants that person will ever need in the game. Both of them have a very nice amount. Then hit points can be nice, especially when your buildings are under fire. We've got a two-headed Hydra here. Got the little bowl sort of split apart. Pioneers and the other hero there. The Bulls is on going down. Ballet here. We do have the hoplites moving about. Villagers took inside. High passes falls back. Bull Minotaurs give these units the horns. Does evacuate out of the building. Right now, the Chinese player does have 84, 85 favor, so decent reserve going. Wooden wall going on up. Looks like Red does find a good number of these villagers. And they will be going down. Looks like a bit of pathing issues since it's the edge of the earth. Take that, globetards. Wooden wall has gone down. Do have some machine workshops here. Hydra still 2 heads. Blues backing up north. Got some more peasants being deployed in the field, of course. More villagers. Though we got a lot less peasants now in the field. The White Horse Cavalry being pursued. Oh, one of these guys have over 1,000 damage. Must have been stabbing a building quite a bit. Wait, does the damage get scaled by if you have the whole formation highlighted and just adds them all together? When do they add that? I didn't realize when you have the whole formation highlighted, it actually accumulates the damage down here. That's quite nice. Never knew about that. I remember when the game where that was simply not a possibility to see. Against few groups, total damage dealt now. Very interesting. Who's not going to try and age up to Gong Gong, which give access to Kunlong, the water dragon. Pegasus getting shot down. That was one provided from the relic for blue. We now have these guys moving about. Towns that are being garrisoned. Trying to avoid the cavalry, of course. Down south, Red's pushing way forward. Got some bold Minotaurs. Last of the bold Minotaurs looks like starting to go on down. More hoplites being summoned. White Horse Cavalry does get knocked back. Petrobolo is still engaged in the ballet. And High Passes does counter the fire archers. Bold Minotaur takes some damage there. Ballet does go down.
έτοιμος. Λέγε.
Oh, we do now have Gong Gong now. Research has access to the Great Flood. A very fine flood indeed. You now have the Kunlong moving around. Greek heroes, of course, very good versus it. However, there's only going to be 4 of them, up to 4 in one game. The Kunlong already took quite a bit of damage there from Odysseus. Odysseus now engaging the Kunlong there a little bit, but also getting hit by the town center.
Πρόσταγμα.
Heavy Tiger Cavalry now being deployed in the field. And looks like got Jason and Hercules takes out the dragon. We do now have Hera being deployed in the field. We have access to Lightning Storm, potentially 3 Mire Drums, and Medusa. The Great Flood has been summoned. Restoration to counteract the Great Flood. They're at pretty good health right now. Some are being dragged a little bit farther than the others. Bull Minotaur does knock back all the cavalry, giving Red some more breathing room. Of course, none of these units are actually counter cavalry. Got some hoplites now pulling the field. Bull Minotaur giving them horns. Got 3 heroes there. We've got more Fey Beasts now summoned. Of course, they are customized Medina, so all the heroes are pretty good against them. They don't have super high health as well, so even Human Soldier is decent versus them. Yeah, that god power is actually not great, is it? More hoplites, another Minotaur on the build queue. I do like Medusa, because they turn things into stone. Out for good range damage. Also, straighten up a bit of crush damage. Just like small enough, which I don't think it's very good armor piercing effect. But in this case, I think some Medusa would be very nice versus these heavy cavalries. Oh, there. Luda's back to the game now. This Angrade saying, thank you for watching, and on to the next replay. As mentioned beforehand, that shall be my last replay for tonight. So everyone, thank you for watching, have a good evening, and get some good rest.